What's up everybody, Benito here with My Private Farmer. In this video, I'm discussing the importance of decomposers in the soil food web with kindergartners. This is one video in a series of lessons about the garden ecosystem. In part 1, we discussed the role of pollinators and how important they are for food production. This is part 2, focusing on decomposers in the soil food web. Part 3 will be all about the predators, how they protect the veggies, and bring balance to the garden ecosystem. My hope is to inspire you to have more earth care conversations with young people. I want to show teachers, school administrators, and parents how valuable this type of education is and how applicable it is to their STEM programs. Now let's get to the garden. Okay, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
So remember what we did in our class last time? We went into the food forest and we added some flowers. Do you remember who we planted those flowers for? Who did we plant those flowers for?
Butterfly.
Oh my gosh, you remembered! I'm so impressed. That is amazing.
Butterfly.
You're right. So we planted those flowers so that we can have lots of butterflies come and visit our garden. And what about the bumblebees?
Yeah.
We want the bumblebees to come visit our garden. What about this one? Do you remember this one?
A bird.
What kind of bird?
Hummingbird.
Yeah. So, boys and girls, these are our pollinators. Can everybody practice saying pollinators? And you remember that those pollinators have a very, very, very special job in the garden, right? It's their job to pollinate all the flowers. Did you see all of those sweet peas we have in the garden? We have those sweet peas because a pollinator came to pollinate those flowers. If these flowers don't get pollinated by some kind of pollinator, they're not gonna grow. No pollinators, no food. Do you see how important they are? We have another category of bugs and animals in the garden that help us build soil. They're called soil builders. Can everybody say soil builders?
Soil builders.
So these soil builders live in the soil. They eat stuff and break it down into better soil. Remember we looked at different kinds of dirt? We looked at clay, and we looked at sand, and we looked at soil. And we love that soil because it's so soft and it holds a lot of water. So what kind of bugs live in the soil that help us build soil? Yeah, worms. There's our little wormy. Does he look cute? That's our little wormy. And that little wormy, he has a very special job. That little wormy goes in the soil and it eats things and breaks it down and makes the soil a lot better, a lot softer. It holds more water. Boys and girls, we also have these little roly-polies. We'll have to look for some roly-polies in the
That
garden.
looks like a candy.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a candy. Well, you don't want to eat a roly-poly, that's for sure. There's another important soil builder living in our garden. Do you know what it is?
No. A pincher
A pincher
bug.
bug. Good job.
One time when I saw one and I touched one in my house, it did not come to me. All it did, it turned away.
Yeah, usually they're very scared. They don't want to pinch you. They just want to run away and go back to the soil. So boys and girls, these soil builders and these pollinators work together in a way that makes our garden grow really, really nice. The best and fastest soil builders are my worms right here. Do you remember when I brought my worm box and we put food in here to feed my worms?
Remember?
We fed the worms and they took all that food and broke it down into new soil. Would you like to see what that looks like?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. I'm going to come and show you what's going on in each layer of the worm farm.
Oh.
So in the top layer, boys and girls, I've been putting food in here to feed my worms. Remember when you all helped me feed my worms?
Yeah.
I think that was like tray number 2. So since then, I've been feeding my worms, and
Where's the worm?
they're in here. Does it look like soil yet? No, it still looks like food scraps and straw.
I can't see the worms in there.
Here's some of the worms. It might be a little stinky because I've been putting food scraps in here, and they're still breaking down. Here's some of the wormies. Look what else I found. Some roly-polies. So yeah, so this layer is still a little yucky
I want to keep them warm.
because this is where I'm adding food. And then I try to cover it with the straw so it doesn't smell bad. Let's look in the second layer, boys and girls.
Okay.
You see how things are getting darker and starting to look more like soil? See, look at how we're starting to make some soil.
Wormies!
Do you see how the material is looking darker? It's not as smelly because it's more broken down, and we're starting to see some soil deeper in the bottom tray, the last tray. And you can see things are much darker. I'm starting to see some real soil in here.
I want to see. Where's the wormies?
See, there's not going to be a lot of worms in here. Do you know how they've already eaten all the food? And they've just left us with this amazing, amazing soil.
It doesn't feel yucky anymore.
We have our pollinators to help pollinate the flowers. And we have our soil builders to make sure our plants are growing in some good soil, right? The next time we meet, we're going to talk about predators. Everybody say predator? Predator! Yeah, that's better. After developing an understanding of our ecosystem, these students have become eco-literate and are growing to value nature. I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. Please comment if you have any questions about nature-based education.